You've been managing acid reflux for years. You just didn't know that's what it was, because the version you have doesn't feel like what people describe when they say acid reflux. There's no dramatic burning, no obvious heartburn after a greasy meal, nothing that makes you think this needs attention. What you have is quieter than that slightly raw feeling at the back of your throat every morning, the one you've been blamming on dry air, or the fan, or allergies that never quite fully show up. The way certain meals sit differently now, not painfully, just heavily, the sleep that keeps getting interrupted for no reason you can name. You didn't imagine any of it, and here's what matters. Your brain found a perfectly reasonable explanation for every single one of those things. Because that's what it's supposed to do. Acid reflux after 50 is almost perfectly designed to be explained away. Because it rarely shows up the way anyone expects it to. It doesn't announce itself. Just quietly reorganizes your life, smaller portions. Certain foods you no longer touch, earlier bedtimes, worse sleep, and you call all of it. Just how things are now, there's one symptom in particular I want to come back to later, one that almost every woman responds to the exact same way when she finally hears it described. She says, "I thought that was just me, but first, the morning before you eat anything, before you drink anything, you wake up and your throat just feels off, not sick. Not sore the way a cold feels sore, just slightly raw. Maybe you clear your throat once or twice. And then you make your coffee, and forget about it completely. Your brain runs the list automatically. The fan, the dry air, allergies, the way you slept, one explanation sticks, because there's always one ready. But here's what's actually happening for a lot of women. While they sleep, lying flat, completely unaware, stomach acid moves upward, slowly, without waking them. By morning, what they feel in their throat isn't illness. It's irritation from acid that spent hours somewhere it wasn't supposed to be, and they never know, because the fan explanation was right there, and it was easier. And it asked nothing of them. Now I want you to think about the last several months, not last week. Several months. Have you started eating smaller portions, without anyone suggesting a certain food because, and notice this phrase if it sounds familiar, it just doesn't sit right anymore. Do you stop before you're full? Because pushing past a certain point started feeling uncomfortable somewhere along the way. If someone pointed that out, you'd probably say, "Oh, I just eat differently now. My stomach changed," which is true. But why it changed might be more specific than you think. Your body has been quietly teaching you over months what triggers discomfort, and you've been learning. Without knowing you were learning, the lessons were gentle enough that the adjustments felt like your own choices. From the outside, they look completely healthy, smaller portions, more mindful, better habits. But underneath, what was driving them was avoidance, and behavior that quietly reorganizes itself around discomfort without you consciously deciding to change anything, is one of the clearest signs that something has been consistently, reliably uncomfortable. Long enough for your life to gently reshape itself around it. And then there's the one nobody connects to: digestion. Nighttime, you fall asleep fine. And then at some point, no alarm, no noise, no clear reason, you surface, not fully awake, not in pain, just unsettled. Maybe a faint sourness at the back of your mouth. Maybe your chest feels slightly heavy in a way that's hard to describe. Or nothing specific at all, just enough discomfort to pull you out of deep sleep, without being enough to explain itself. You lie there, your mind goes to the usual places: stress, hormones, just getting older. You do not think dinner, but what you ate 3 or 4 hours earlier, is still affecting your body while you're lying flat, and lying flat removes the one thing that was quietly helping all evening: gravity. Take that away. And sometimes the body surfaces you, not because something is seriously wrong, just because something is uncomfortable enough. That sleep cannot continue through it, and you call it bad sleep. And in the morning you think about melatonin now. That symptom I mentioned at the beginning, the one that gets dismissed faster than any other. It's a cough, not a real cough, not the kind that worries you, just a dry, occasional cough with no clear cause, or more likely, the throat clearing. That quiet, automatic habit of clearing your throat every few minutes, something you've done for so long. You no longer notice yourself doing it. Someone else in your life might notice. You probably don't. It's not a cold. It's not a nervous habit, it's reflex. Your throat has been repeatedly irritated by acid traveling further than it should. And it responds the only way it knows how, again and again, until the clearing becomes so automatic. It stops feeling like a symptom. It just becomes part of how your body sounds now. Not everything that feels like aging is aging. The raw morning throat, the nighttime waking, the eating habits that shifted on their own, the cough you named something else. None of it is random. It's a pattern. A specific, connected, manageable pattern. And recognizing it starts with something small, not explaining the next symptom away the moment it appears, just noticing it. Because the women who say they wish they'd understood this sooner almost never describe missing one big warning sign. They describe something far more specific. They were very, very good at finding reasonable explanations for small ones in the next video. The specific foods that make all of this worse after 50, and some of them are things you're eating right now, not because you've been careless, but because everything you've heard about them says they should be fine. A few of them will probably surprise you.